and then run. Value is not 0. So if you see here, value is it's showing that value is not 0. Why I'm it's very basics, and I'm starting from basic, considering that keeping everyone in mind. Okay, so if someone knows, just ignore it. Maybe it's for others. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are initializing a value x is equal to 10. Hmm? And what value we are initializing? Integer value. So in Python, you don't have to specify which type of data set with data type it is. Once you initialize any value, automatically it will understand that what type of data we have initialized. Okay, we'll go step by step. You understand that first line? Is it clear? Then second line, what is the second line? If x is equal to 0. So if you see here, x is equal to 0. See, there are two ways. The first one is assignment operation. Okay, this is we are initializing this 10 value into x. Correct? We are initializing this value x is equal to 10, but x is equal to this is equals to operator. It is checking whether this x, what is that x? X is 10 is equal to 0. Is it true? No, it's not true, right? So it will go into, it will not go into this block. It will not go into this block, else it will go to this block. Correct? So this is not true, this is false, and this condition is true. So it will come into this condition, correct? You're able to understand how does
Yes.
right? Okay. Now there's one more flavor of this one, that is x is equal to 0. So if x is equal to 0, that is one condition, 0. Then elif x is equal to 5. You can write anything. Then 5 and then else. Mm. So here, what is the difference between this one and this one? So in this one, we don't have else if. Okay, we are not adding a one more condition. So whether the value is 0 or else, all the other conditions will come into else part. But we can also add multiple conditions. So you can see a lot of these type of conditions is written. You you might have to write that. See, so value is equal to 6. So what happened? It checked here. It didn't work. That was false. Then it came to this part. So whenever the condition is false, it will not go into this one. Okay, it will not go into this one. It will not go into inside this if condition. Then it will come to this condition directly from here. Directly it will come to this point. Okay, it will check if x is equal to 5. No, x is not true. It's false again. Then it will come to this condition. It will check this one. X is equal to 6. Yes, true. It will check here. It will come inside this one, and it will exit from here. Okay, it will exit from here. It will not execute the below part. You got it? Okay. So now looping. Any confusion here? No doubt. All clear. All can write if else in Python easily,
Yes.
right? Okay. So now we have loopings. Okay. So what is loop? So suppose I wanted to do some operation multiple times. So we have to use looping, iterative process. We wanted to do some repetitive work, okay, with the incremental values or some other values. So we have to use looping for that. We can use while loop as well as for loop. But in Python, we have seen that it's better to go with the for loop because it comes with a lot of options. Huh? While loop used to be used in C and C++, but in Python, we have seen that it's not useful that much because we can do all the operations in for loop. Okay, but still, while loop is still there. In while loop, what is the difference between for loop and while loop? In for loop, we can initialize our values, okay, as well as we can give the maximum values, conditional values. Both we can give. But while loop, we do not have that option, right? So we'll see how does this work. So anyone has idea about this range option? No? By the name, can someone guess?
A loop will cycle until that number.
No, range.
Between two values or between some values, like
Yeah, we can give like n values and it can go from 0 to n before the number of n minus 1.
So it's a range between two values. Okay, so I can say 1 to 10. Okay, and very basic. But once you enter into this, any of the block, you have to enter a tab. Okay, you got it this one right. Why I'm entering tab here? This is the syntax. Very basics, but okay. Okay. So what is error? Let's see. Can you guess? It's very small.
It's a syntax error. You have to put that column after the bracket.
Yeah, colon. After see, if you see here, syntax error expected. This one. It will also show the line number one. Okay. Okay. So what it is doing? So what it is doing? Whatever range we have. So in for loop, it is like we know how many times my loop will work. So we have to initialize our value I with the one. So first time, what it is happening? First time, this one will be initialized into I, and it will print that value I. So first time the value was one. Second time, value will increase to two, then three. It will every time it is initializing that value into this I. And then whatever inside block we have written, it will write everything here. And once the condition meets 10, it will exit. Okay. Okay. We'll see one flavor with the list. Okay. So list is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is my list. Did you read about list, tuples, differences? Okay. Okay. So I can print the values of all the list. Whatever values I have in my list, you can print all that. Hmm? So if I have entered any value here, list can have multiple different type of data set, right? List can have different type of data. If you wanted to write, if you wanted to use that in a for loop, what you have to do, you have to initialize that list inside I, and then you can do any operation on that. Suppose I wanted to do some calculation on that. Instead of doing this, just printing this, I'll give you all the codes. If anyone is writing, just try to understand. Then I'll share all the codes. You got it till here? Anyone has any confusion? No, anyone did not understand anything? I can repeat it. All good. All are expert till here. So now we have a while loop. So if you see here, what is the difference you see in while loop and for loop? So initializing condition we have to in for loop we can give initializing condition, right? Now in for loop, automatically my values are also increasing. If you see here, 1 to 10, correct? But here I have to use some operator to increase my values. No initialize conditions. So if you see here, this one, x is equal to x plus 1. So what is this? Any you everyone understood, or anyone has a confusion on this? So this is like x plus 1. This is a short form of this one. X is equal to x plus is equal to 1. So this is short form. This x plus is equal to 1 is equal to is short form of this operation. It's nothing but whatever the x value is now. So 0. So first what will at first step 0 plus 1. Next x is equal to what is x value at level 1? It has become 1. So it will be 1 plus 1. Now it's 2. So next time it's 2 plus 1. It has become 3. 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. And at the end, 4 plus 1. So it has become 5. So here it will be false. Right? Correct? You understood this one? While loop, for loop.
Yes.
Okay. So now sometimes you have to go with the loop inside loop, iterate. Okay. Multiple looping conditions. So we'll see that multiple looping conditions. What is multiple looping condition? So if you see, I have used two loops. One is saying range 1 to 5 and another one is saying range 1 to 10. So I want you to tell what will happen. if I'm using this one, what will happen? What will be the output?
It will be 50 combination like 1 1 1 2 1 3 1 4 till 110, then 2 1 2 2 2 2 10 3 1 2 3 10.
Any
And
other?
after 10, it will be the horizontal line, then again 10.
So first, first I'm using this range 1 to 5. So my outer loop, we have two loops. Whether one is outer loop and second is inner loop. Okay. So first loop, it will run 5 times. Hmm? So if you see here, the value 1, the value 2, 3, sorry, it will run 4 times because this is the, if you use it from 0, then it will run 5 times. Okay. Whatever range we give, it runs -1 times because it starts with the 0. Let's imagine it starts with the 0. So now it will run for 5 times. So we have given 1 to 5, so it will run 4 times. You get this one? Why we are running this is 4 times? If you see here, we have given 1 to 10, but it ran for 1 to 9 because the last time whenever the condition is 10, it will become, this condition will become false because if you see here, if you see here, if it is 5, 5 less than 5, no, right? Is 5 less than 5? No. But 4 is less than 5. So that it is true till that time. Okay. So that's how it will always run less than this. If you have given 1 to 5, then it will run 1 to 4. If you have given 1 to 10, it will run till 1 to 9. Okay. So it will run, this one will run 4 times, 1 to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Left side value, if you see, left side value, it is running 1 to 4. But inside that, every time we have 9 values, 1 to 10. Okay. It will run. So in 1, it has run 9 times. Then again, it has run for 9 times. So how many combinations we have? 9 into 4. Right? Confusion? Okay. What is the confusion? No confusion here. Correct? Okay. This is also okay. 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 So this one is running 9 times and this one is running 4 times. Okay. If I add this block here, now every after one value, once you are inside this one, this block will work, this block will execute, hmm? And it will print the value of I and j, right? It will print the value of I and j. So what will the value of I and j? I will be 1, j will be 1. It will come back after printing this value, it will go back to this block or this block. It will go to the I block or j block.
J block.
Princey, you confused. It will, yeah, it will go to j block. But you understand why it's going to j block, why it's not going to I block?
Because of indentation.
Right. It's inner block, so it will obviously go to. So what will happen? So whenever we are doing this operation, okay, Suppose I'm writing if condition instead of ij. So whenever this executes, it will go to if condition, and after if condition, it will come back to again the upper level, upper block, right? So okay. So how the execution works? First of all, this value will execute. My compiler will not come back here until all the inner blocks are executed. Okay, inner code is executed. Now this is executed. Once this is executed, it will come back to this one. It will see again. This will execute it and it will come back to this condition. Once this is if it is true, then it will execute this condition. Otherwise, it will come out. It will come out where? Here. It will come out of if condition. Correct? It will come out of if condition only, right? And then which condition, which block it will execute next? It will come back here. Here. Which is block here? The for loop. Right? And again, what first time it has already printed the value 1. So it has executed on for range 1. So for range, it has executed it for range 1, it has executed. Now it has become 2. Again, it will come to this condition. J is equal to I. If it is not true, if it is true, it will come inside this block. Otherwise, it will come. Okay. If it is true, after printing the value, what it will do? It will come back to this if condition only. Okay. But if condition is not repetitive, iterative, so it will not execute this one. It will come back here. After if condition is executed, it will come back to this condition. And same way, it will run till 9. Till 9. Right? And once this condition after 9, it will check. Same operation. If condition and all, everything will execute. And after 9, it will check 10. Value will become 10. 10 less than 10? No. So what will happen? It will come back here. And it will start writing. Since it was value was 1, now it will become 2. Again, when the value is 2, it will come inside this one. And then all the process again, it will start writing 1 to 9 again here. You're getting how the execution happens? Got it? Everyone? All of you understood? Then we'll move to some of the, okay. Ternary operator. There's a ternary operator. If else, you can write it down in one line. That is called ternary operator. If the condition is true, instead of writing that into multiple lines, if else conditions, so you can use a ternary operator here. 3 operations are done in one line. So just see if x is equal to f greater than 0, else negative. So if you see here, x is equal to 10. So this condition is true, right? This condition is true. So it will store the results into this positive results into, because this condition is true. So this results will be stored. This one. Else, it will print negative. Can also try. You understood this one? Or confusion? This is nothing but, you can say, it's like this. Since we are writing everything in one line, so that's why it's called ternary operator. Simple, right? If condition, else condition, and whatever results in if condition, that's stored here. No need to remember syntax. Just understand how it is working. That is important. This will not work because next, we'll move to list and tuples. Okay. So what is the difference in list and tuple? Yeah, Ritvik.
So tuple is kind of single variable, whereas in list you can store multiple value. So you can iterate on all the value, but in tuple, because all the value is stored in only one variable, they consider like one. So we cannot iterate over it, maybe, and we cannot change it.
Okay.
We cannot modify
Some
tuples.
of right. Some of the
So the
some of
use
it was
case
correct.
should be that if you don't want to modify anything, whatever you're putting inside your tuples, then you should go with tuples, or otherwise you can go with list if you want,
Yeah.
if you know that you're gonna modify it in future.
Yeah. So tuple is immutable. So we cannot modify after creation. We cannot add the values in tuples. And what is the use case? As Neil said, the use case is whenever we want to, uh, it's a time, it's related time. Your operation should be executed faster. So when the value is immutable, it cannot be changed. Then additional memories we don't have to keep for it, and it will be faster. So we can use tuple in that condition. And if you wanted to, you have a use case where you see that your data has to be added, then you have to go with a list. Okay. Then any other difference? Anyone? So
Please switch on the cameras. How can we interact with you all? So Krishna, Apu, Jivitesh, Navya, Uma, Veda, please.
okay. So if you see here, I have created a list as well as I have created a tuple. So see, how does it work? So I am trying to print the values for tuples as well as for list. See, so one more difference, the syntax, it's a syntax difference. If you initialize the value, if you keep the value in this one square bracket, that is a list. If it is a this bracket, that means it's a tuple, right? In both the values, yeah. So you can use both in for loop. You can use both in for loop. You can print the values of for loop. You can do operation on that as well. And the main thing is both are of you can define any values, any type of data in tuple as well as in list. List can be increased after you have created it. You can you can add the values in that, but in tuple you cannot add the values. So tuple is faster, okay, comparatively list. So that's the main difference. We can use tuple as well as list in a for loop. You can iterate it. Okay. You can also access these values with the indexes. Let me try. So what I mean by index?
Position.
Yeah, by numbers. See. So in tuple, if you see here, at one position, what is the value at one position? Position one.
2.
And why? It should be one, right? Why it's coming as two?
It will come from 0. Like it will start with 0.
Yeah, starts with zero. You see here, it will come. First value it will print. Right? Same way, we can do that. We can use index also. Okay. So next is a dictionary. Yesterday I told you about dictionary. What is dictionary? It's a key value pair. Hmm? How it is key value pair? I'll see. This is my key, and I can write any name. ABC. This is my value. So name is key, and this is my value. Okay. So if I wanted to print the well, and then I have to give name. So it will print the value of name. If you just print the variable name, it will print everything inside that. So let's create a bigger. Okay. So see, you wanted to get the numbers. So what you have to do? You have to print well and then number. So you'll get the number. Okay. This is about dictionaries. We have then some more topics for this one. Then set. Okay. It's a unique element we can keep in that. That is a set. And then array. In array, it's the same as list. But in that, what you have to do, it's a same type, same data type. If you keep all the values as same data type, then that's called an array. But it will be list, same as list, but it will look like an array. We can say that it's an array. So AR is equal to, we can say that this is an array. AR is equal to, okay. So if you see difference, what is difference in these two? And which one is array and which one is list?
AR is array and AR1 is list.
Right. And what is this true?
Boolean.
Boolean data type. True and false. That's right. That's a Boolean data type. Okay. Till now, any question, any doubts, any code you wanted to execute again? Till here, you can write codes by your own, all the basics.
Yeah, all good.
All good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So next we'll move to functions, methods. You read about set, okay, and see what all the advantages of sets we have. Set. Okay, so functions. So how to define a function? So if you see here, I have written a function add. What it does, it takes two column, two values, A and B. We can write A and B. Instead of A and B, we can write any value. It's a user defined values. So instead of that, you can write any your user defined values. Okay, variables. And then what I'm doing, I'm adding these two values, variables, and writing into C. And I'm returning C. Why I'm returning C? What is this C? What is the purpose of C? So if you write this, my val is equal to add 10. So this is my function definition. In what definition I'm doing? I'm giving this as a def, that's keyword that you have to use, and then add. This is a user defined function name. You can write any function name of your requirement. Suppose you're doing multiplication, so you can write multiplication. You can write, if you're doing subtraction, you can write subtraction. Okay. And how many parameters you want? This is called parameters. So A is a parameter and B is parameter. So how many parameters we are using here? We are using 2 parameters. Okay. And this is the operation. This is the body of uh, my function. You can do any operation here. You can write print statements, or as per your requirement. You can use loops here. You can write for loop, while loop, if conditions, anything you want, you can do it here according to your requirement. Okay. So as per understanding, I'm just writing C is equal to A plus B. Very simple logic, very simple operation I'm doing, that I'm adding whatever the parameters I'm getting from here. I'm just adding that, and I'm sending the results back. So this is the return statement. So my results is stored in C. So I'm returning this C back to my calling function. So this is my calling function. If see here, I'm calling this function from outside of my function definition. This is a function definition, and this is a main, and I'm calling this function from here. And I'm passing 2 parameters here. I'm passing 10 and 20. And this is receiving this 10 and 20. Okay. So in A, in this A, this value 10, and in B, the value is 20 now. Okay. And you are doing this operation here. The results it will send the result back to this value. Whatever results is coming from here, that will be stored here. We are storing that value here. And then you can see what is the result.
That means here we are not creating object, right?
No, in function, you don't have to create object. That's a class.
All right.
You got till here, right? You understood till here.
Yes, Praveen.
Okay. Now, if you see here, I'm just writing same operation I'm doing. Instead of saving that result into value, what I'm doing, I'm just passing this. I'm calling this function add from here in print statement, and I'm passing value 10 and 20. Whatever results is coming, I'm not storing that result. I'm just printing that result. Okay. And if in last, if you see here, my result is, let's see, I'm adding 2 strings. So this additional operator is not only for numerical value, it can also add strings. So same function is used for numerical values, as well as it's also used for strings. So that is the advantages of functions. You can do this operation, you can call this add whenever you need, right? You might need it multiple times. You wanted to do some same calculation, for suppose for same calculation you wanted to do for different departments. So you don't have to write that same calculation every time. This is just a simple calculation that I'm C is equal to A plus B I'm writing. But you might have a multiple calculations, like you have to do, you have to find out some ratings, then you have to add some other details, and it's a complex calculation, 10 line or 20 line calculation you wanted to write. So if it is like every time you get a new department, you write that 10 line of codes. So if you get 20 departments, so 10 into 20, it will become 200. But in function, you can write that only at one place, okay, 10 line of code. And every time, whenever a new department comes, you will just call that function, and it will return your results for that one. You don't have to write 20 times, right? You got this one? Add 10, 20, add hello world. Got it? Am I teaching very basics, or is it you are able to understand, or it's advanced?
No, it's very basic.
Very basics
Yeah.
for everyone?
No.
No. How many of you are you think that it's not basics? You want this type of understanding?
Yeah, I think we need this to understand the further part, otherwise we won't get it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right. So keeping everyone in mind, I have used only basics, not very basics, but this is the fundamentals. You have to know this, otherwise you will not understand. Right? Yeah, Jay, tell me.
Praveen, you said like a plus operator will act as we will use plus operator as a concatenation, and along with we can also do a summation. So let's suppose in the uh, from the add, I want to try call the function through add we have created. Like just put the 10, I mean 10 and 10. I want to do a concatenation. Then how function will get to know that I have to do a concatenation or
It will
summation?
give you error because the two different data set. Okay. So integer and string, it will not work, correct? Because it doesn't understand whether, okay, two different data set, it will not work. But if you wanted to do this way, you can do that. Now it's two strings.
No. My question is different. Listen.
Uh, yeah, ask.
Sorry.
Yeah. Tell me, what is your question?
Just while calling, you just put the same numbers.
Hmm.
And how function we get to know that I have to do either we have to do a concatenation or the summation.
Depends on the data type. If it is a string, it will do concatenation. If it is numerical, it will do addition.
But in the numerical, I want to do a concatenation. You got my point? Just put the 10 and 10 and do a concatenation.
I think we just have to give numerical values as strings.
Oh,
Right.
no. For
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
right.
right.
Yeah.
That's very. Who answered that?
Yeah. Sri Lakha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone can answer that question.
Yeah, but we have to put into a double quote, right?
That's right. If we are writing, if it can add hello and world, it can also write 10 and 20. If you write anything here, it's a string. Okay. Anything if you write here, it has become a string.
Y-
So basic difference between a string and numerical, you try, Jay. Okay. So what's the difference? How you write a string and how do you write a numerical value? Okay.
Yeah,
Then
because
you
you
can
write comma, then and then plus operator will get to know that I have to take it as
string.
a or
If
a
it
numerical.
is if it is a double quotes, it becomes a string. If you
Okay.
send anything, that becomes a string. If you write directly 10 and 20, it's a numerical value.
Yeah, because you said plus operator will act as a summation and concatenation both. So that's why I got a question in my mind.
Okay, good. Okay. Mhm. No worries. So do some practice. You guys do some practice. You will get a lot of errors, but at least you'll learn. You will understand the basics, and you'll you'll get some ideas how it is working. Okay. Okay. So next move to functions. Okay. Now class and operators, objects, and then we have a oops concept. Okay. So what is a class? Okay. First I have a try catch block. Yesterday we were thinking to execute this one. Okay. So yesterday we were trying to see try catch exception, try catch, right? Exceptions, exception handling. So did you understood yesterday what is exception? Did you try to read, or anyone is already aware about exceptions? Yeah.
Yeah, I already aware about it.
Okay. You're expert, Jay.
No, not an expert, but I've been doing since 2015. So
Okay, good. Okay, you're already in IT.
yeah, I did bachelor's in IT, and here I'm doing master's. So already these all are the basics, and in the same subject, like while I started C language, and
Mhm.
afterwards I did a C++, Python, .NET. In all the languages, we have a same concept. So that little will feeling like bored.
Right. But for others, it will be useful. It will be very useful. That's why I'm covering, this type of programs that they can understand. All others can understand. So I'll give you one task. You take next class tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So exceptions. What do you understand? What is your understanding about try catch or exceptions, and how it is different from error? Um, yeah, someone was saying something.
I think instead of giving an error, it will display that there is an error here. So we would know like where to see.
Correct. Mhm. Okay, you can say that. Okay, so suppose I'll show you the example. Okay, and you find out what is the difference. Okay, the first line you have already seen. What is the results when I'm trying to divide 10 by 0? You're getting this results. Okay, now I'm writing same thing inside try block as well as exception. Okay, and now you see what is the difference you get. So now same operation I'm doing here and same operation I'm doing here. Other than that, all this is try, exception, and just printing. So main operation is this one. So here, what is the difference you got here, and as well, what is the difference you got here?
Uh, when we get error, we can redirect the program to whatever we want. If something
Right.
is not go as our plan, we can redirect the route of the program.
Okay, right. So if you see here in line number 36, this one, whenever you are doing any, it's not an error, it's an unexpected uh, execution, or we are doing something that is not understood by, it's an exception, not error. You understand difference between error and exception. So error is not according to the syntax, or it's not correct. But in exception, it's correct. But compiler might not understand what this is doing. So we might get a lot of exceptions related to different, like files related exceptions, some other exceptions. So what we have to do, if you're writing that uh, code outside your try catch block, it will just terminate. It will terminate. See, this execution got terminated. So if I say that I'm writing some print statement here, okay, and if I try to execute this one, it will not execute. You see, the hello is not printed anywhere, right? It is just saying that this is zero divide error. It's not our program. Hello is not executing here. But in this code, if you see here, it is printing error divide by zero. Program is not terminated. After the execution of this this block, still my this block is also getting executed. But when you're writing 10 divided by 0, hello is not getting printed. So this is terminated. Our code is terminated. It came out of the program. But here, it did not came out of the program, right? It's a printing this value, correct? So instead of, that's how we can handle our code. Whenever you feel any of the code might throw exception, you have to write everything in your try catch exception, try catch block. Got it?
So let's say if we put more like when we put one more statement as print hello, it will print hello
Where?
like after the code only.
After the code.
Yeah, like one more statement as print hello, something
Yeah.
like that.
Let's see what it does. It's not printing. So what happens whenever you get any exception here? So it will come out from that exception. It will come here, but it will not. It will come out of that try catch block. But the next statement. That's why I have written the next statement in this way. I have written. So it says that it will come out of this try catch, but it will not come out of the program. It will not terminate the program. Okay. So any code below this will be terminated, but outer program will not get terminated.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So next we will move to next topic. That is a class. So first I'll explain you what is the concept of class. Okay. Then we'll see an example of class. So till now, whatever program we were writing, if it is a function or variables, we were writing that outside. We were not writing all these functions and variables inside any boundary. You don't see the program, you'll get confused. Don't see that. Okay. So whatever functions or whatever variables we were writing, what we were doing, we were writing that out in a, without any boundaries, right? So it was written outside. Suppose I wanted to write everything that inside a boundary. Okay. It's an example of encapsulation. What is encapsulation? In encapsulation, what we do, we bundle. It's like in a capsule. We have written, we are keeping some of the our chemicals inside that capsule, right? So in capsule, we might have multiple things. You can say we have a function, we have a variable, and then we can use it, and it will not be directly visible outside. Okay. So suppose you are working on suppose you are working on one class, I'm working on another class. I don't want that you can use my variable. You might be using the same variable name that I'm using in my program. So that's why we have an encapsulation, or we can say that is a class. Okay. So if you see here in this class till here, class dog, and then you see init. What is this init? It's a nothing but my constructor. Okay. So we have a class dog. We have defining this one, and inside that we have a constructor. So you can say this constructor whenever we are we wanted to initialize any of the default values, we have our constructor. Okay, if you don't understand about constructor, leave it. As of now, you just focus on, just leave it. So I'll just remove it. It's a necessary, but we'll leave it. Okay. Now we have a definition function bark. Okay, and it's a taking self. I'll explain you what is this self again. Okay, so just imagine that this is a variable. Okay, and it is taking only from its object, dog's object. Okay, so confused. Okay, so we have in a function here bark, and then this is it's a taking an parameters. So what we'll do now here, you can say that we are creating an instance. We are creating an object of this one. Okay, so what is the syntax to create an object? Dog. And see here in this constructor, this is a constructor of this program class, and it is taking two values, name as well as age. Okay, so what is a name and what is the age? And I'm creating an object for this class. You can say that I'm creating a handler for this class. My dog is handler for this dog class. You can say that it's like a pointer. This object is a pointer for this class. This is pointing to this one. And what is the value inside that? The value is buddy and 3 for my dog. I'm creating two pointers. Second pointer is dog 1. And what is value? Any name, and age is 5. So I'm creating two objects for this one. With the help of these two objects, I can access this class. Got it? Now, I wanted to see the name of this one. So I can use my dog.name because in my dog, it's already there. Name is already there. So with this handler, I can access the values. Same, my dog dot value, then my dog dot bark. So with the help of this function or this handler, I can easily call this function. I'm calling this function, and it will what it will do. It will print the name, this name with this whatever you have written there. You confused here? Anyone? Everyone is clear?
I am not able to follow.
Yeah. Okay. I'll repeat it. Yeah, Ritvik, you have a question.
Sir, why should we use this instead of the simple function in any place? Can you
Right.
suggest any?
So, example you wanted to see, right? So, suppose I'm doing some. So, what happens? We have an OOPS concept, object oriented concepts. In that, it tries to suppose you're working in an organization where everyone is all working on finance data, and you have created a method or method to calculate the bonus or method to calculate the salary. So you'll use a definition DEF salary and then some parameters in that. You have used that one. So I'm also working on the same project. I also have to calculate the salary of some other department or some some other ranks. So I'll also use DEF salary and some parameters. So whenever I'm calling that salary function, I might get confused. I may get confused with your salary function method. So whatever value, if it is the parameters is matching, then I might get a wrong result itself. Okay, that is one case. Another case is you are using some variables. Okay, some variables you are using, or some list you are using. Okay, you have written the list name as list, and you have passed the values, like numerical values, some numerical values. I also have to use a list in another program or another department, and I'm also using list. It might be string values. So I might I might call your list. I might use your list. There's no boundary. There's no boundary for that one. For that, we have to use a class. We have to create a boundary. It's not nothing but a it's a, like you can say, it's a boundary we are creating from outer world. Directly, you cannot create class and variable and of a function directly. Correct?
Okay, thank you. And one last question. Let's say we want to use any library in the class function. Should we declare every time in the class function, or one in the whole program is okay for?
So, so what happens with the library? So whenever your instance is working, suppose you say that whenever I'll explain you in Synapse. So whenever if you say my cluster is running, Synapse cluster is running, if you import the library at a cluster level, once your cluster is up and running, and that time if you're running your library, it will be useful. It will be there in memory until that cluster stops. Okay. Okay. Prince, I'll repeat it. Okay. So if you see here, we have an function. You understand function? You understood function,
Yeah.
right? Okay, let's execute this one and write a function. Definition of function. Is it okay? Okay. Now it's also okay to call this one like this. Hmm? Correct? I'm calling this function from here. That's correct, right? If I call like this, self. It's okay, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Let's come to class. What is class? It's just one more layer. Can say that. Okay. You just, if you're not able to understand in it, it's okay. You leave it. Okay. So now what we are doing, instead of writing that function outside without using class, it is saying it is doing the same work. Hmm? What I have added here, I have added a class here. Inside that class, I'm using this bark function. I have created an object for this one. You can say it's a pointer handler. Okay. You can say this is an access point for this one, for dog, for class. And now, if you try to do this, call this bark directly, it is saying because already we have created a this function outside. So let me create another function for this one, and then we'll see if we can access that one from outside. Okay. Okay. So if I just try to call this bark directly, it will not understand, right? For outside world, there is no function like this. But with this handler, I can access that function. With this pointer, with this object, I can access this one, right? Correct? Same as with the variables also. So from outside world, you will not be able to see this if the bark is there or not. But here, if you saw here, we were able to directly without any object, we were able to access this function. Now in class, we have created a boundary. We have created a function inside a class. So first you have to access this, and then only you will be able to access this one. You have confusion? I can give you another example. If you still have confusion, it's okay.
I'm okay a bit, but yeah, I'm not very clear with
Very
the
clear.
concept of it.
Okay, okay.
I do
But you,
understand this is a class, you're creating a boundary, you're trying to call whatever it is inside uh, through a different name, but I'm not getting a very clear picture
why
of
we
it.
are doing this? You
Yeah.
didn't understand why we are doing. Okay. So if you wanted to know why we are doing this is just a privacy. You can say that all the users should not access it directly. It's a kind of encapsulation. If you have a capsule, if you if I give you that chemical inside that capsule in your hand or in some pudiya, so you like it that way or you want that inside a capsule. So it has an outer shell or it is protected, right?
Yes. So
So
the one who creates it is the one who can access it, or can others also do access?
others can also access it. Others can also access it.
What's the whole point of creating it then?
Good. So you will use it according to, suppose you have created your own class, you will give it a specific name to that class, okay? And you will be knowing that you have given some, okay? So directly if I have a function like average function or I'm doing addition of that function, so addition of that function will be available anywhere, okay? I can imagine I wanted to do some addition on my operation. Then what I'll do, I'll write add function, right? You will also write add function. I will also write add function. Rutvik also will write add function. Jay may write add or addition. He might write some other name, right? But still, for addition, we have written, three of us have written similar name, okay? And we'll try to directly read add and we'll pass our values, okay? So it's a confusion, right? But if you have created a class, then you have to create an object. The class name will be different for all three of us. It is not sure that the combination will become different, right? Your class name will become different. My class name is different. Okay. Then we have uh, another concept like okay, whatever values we are passing, that might be different again for you and me.
I understand. I get it now.
You get it now? Okay. So it's a don't whatever I have given here, it's like become a bit lengthy as well as a bit confusing for others. But this one is a bit simple, right? So you can use this one. I'll share this one.
Sir, can you do one thing?
Yeah, please.
Before you are giving pointer, can you make another function named dog?
Inside this function or what? Inside this
No, no.
class?
Not inside the outside the class, but before giving the pointer. Okay, in the
Hmm.
fourth line, Can you
Okay,
just make
let me write it down again. Let's do that. Okay. Yeah. Now.
now fourth line will be define and dog function. Just define
Define
dog.
dog.
Yeah, the same which is class. Yeah.
Okay. It will get confused with the dog and dog.
That is what.
It's because the class as well as method both are coming with the same name, so it'll get confused. It is thinking that it is also calling this whenever we create an object for this one, it get confused with the definition as well with the function as well as with class. Okay, yeah, Ritvika.
Yeah, I was just confused with one line. If you can go up where there was that long class one, like class function and everything. Yeah, you see that it says print and then F and then quotes. So what's that F stands for? Is there a function?
Okay, it's a kind of formatting. It's a format string. So whenever you wanted to write any value inside this code, okay, variable or anything. So suppose what happened? Okay, I'm writing print. So I have written some string here. Okay, so again, I'm writing this is my string. But you wanted to say you have to write here some. This is my number, and you wanted to say some number here. Okay, suppose you have written like this, and then you have to write some number here. Okay, number should print as a number, not as a string. Whatever value you're passing, that should print here. For that, what you have to do, you have to write this one, format string, and then you have to specify f here. So automatically, this value will change here. If you see here, if you have written, now everything is in red color. And if you just write f here, see, this self dot name has changed. So it is saying that this name will be taken from here. Whatever name is here, this is a placeholder. This name will be taken from here. If you just remove this one, it will say that it is a normal string.
Okay. It's like that back take that in other languages they use instead of formatting.
Right, right. You have to instead of writing directly, this is self. Okay, if you print like this, it will print this is number open flower bracket self dot name as it is my name. My result will be printed like this. So I'm saying that the result will be printed in this form. Okay. If you use F here, it will print like
With a name.
yeah, name, some name or any name that we have given. Okay, got it.
Praveen, can you share these codes with us?
I'll share. I'll share. I will share. Clear till here today?
Yes, sir.
You can write these codes, programs by your own. Understood about class, right? Try it, okay? Practice it. It's not that difficult. It's easy. If you try it, you can write your code by own. Write some logical method or some logical program doing some operations like Fibonacci series or this type of operation, this type of program. Try to just write it, okay, by your own. So you will understand how does the logic works. Okay. Thank you. See you
Thank you,
tomorrow.
Varun.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Praveen.
Praveen.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, Praveen.
Good night, all of you.
Good
Good
night.
Happy
night.
weekend.
Good night.
You too.